I have a YouTube channel, Pokemon Fam Club.
Fam Club?
Fam, yeah.
Okay.
Isn't family for short?
How many subscribers do you have?
5,500. Still working on it. What's going on, Fam Club? Last weekend I had my first ever vendor experience at a Pokemon card show, and I promised a write up about it. Well, now that I've had a week to really reflect on how it went, let's get to it. All right, so first of all, I took a whole bunch of notes, and because I streamed live the entire day, I've been watching it back. I've thought about editing it down into like an hour video. I've gotten through a lot of it and edited a bunch down, but I'm still, halfway through and I still have like 2 hours. I don't want to cut people out that I interacted with because it was a lot of fun talking to all the people, and especially the kids who were coming out and just looking through the binders, and they were having a blast just looking for things that they wanted to get. If there's any questions that I don't answer today, definitely let me know down below what you want to know about my vendoring experience in case it's something that you're interested in, and I'll try to do my best to answer all of your questions. So first off, let's talk about what I tried to sell. I tried to sell sealed product. I feel like I have absolutely phenomenal prices. I've gone to card shows in the past. There's usually not a lot of sealed product, and when there is, it's not very good prices. So here's some shots of my table and how I set it up. I just, I wanted to make sure the prices were clear. I had these little, star signs that have the prices on there, thinking that those would, grab people's attention and get them excited to get some really good deals on sealed product. I thought that maybe by bringing brand new products that were very well priced to the people who don't have to order online and wait for shipping, that might do well. It didn't really do that well. The only thing I really sold very well was sleeve packs of Twilight Masquerade, because I generally was selling them. I was pushing them. I was like, hey, I got these for $3.50. Are you interested? In the end, I think I only sold maybe like 30 packs total, but still, I wasn't going to sell anything at all if I didn't keep bringing it up to people and saying, hey, I got these packs. They're $3.50. It's Twilight Masquerade. And ultimately, people did buy, 5 here, 5 there, 10 here. A couple people bought just a couple packs for their kids or whatever. And I would have done a lot worse had I not pushed some of the product. And I tried to focus on that because I thought it was one of the best deals that I had. So what's the problem with sealed product? It's heavy. I brought a lot. I thought that by I was afraid to not have enough, just in case there was someone who was like, man, this is a great price. I want a case or of this or that, or some of the other vendors could have came along. I wanted to make sure I didn't run out. I brought way too much. It was super heavy. I had a cart that I had to buy from Costco for like 130 bucks just to be able to barely wheel everything in there. It was so heavy. I was sweating for like 30 minutes once I wheeled it all in there. I had loaded the car up the night before, so I didn't have to do that in the morning as well. That would have been a nightmare. So I loaded it up in the morning. I drove there. It was like 30 minutes away. I loaded up the cart and I wheeled it all in, and then I sat there sweating for like 30 minutes waiting for the sweat to stop, because it's miserable when you got to sit there in your own sweat all day long. If I did it again, I would not bring that much. I would probably focus on maybe just sleeve packs. I'm thinking maybe if I do this again, bring like 4 types of sleeve packs, 1 box of each, and maybe that's something. Maybe just a couple ETBs here or there. I just feel like people are not coming to these shows really to buy sealed product. It's maybe if there's a good deal. I didn't see people walking around with a lot of sealed product. I saw someone got an ETB of Silver Tempest for like 20 bucks. And in that case, the guy was like, well, it's 20 bucks. That's so dirt cheap. I'm going to buy that. And, I saw maybe a couple older boxes that people had bought up, 2 at the most, like people carrying around. So people were not buying sealed product. People were mostly there to buy singles. So I feel like another piece of advice that I would have is that focus on singles. If you want to sell stuff, you got to focus on singles. at these card shows, that's generally what people are coming around to find. This is an opportunity. I'm getting put in front of people who want to buy singles. I'm going to try to sell whatever I can. The biggest card I brought was an Umbreon V, alternate art from Evolving Skies, which I had priced at TCG Market. And I really didn't think it would sell, but I brought it anyways, just thinking, hey, you never know. Someone might want it. It's right there. It's in front of them. I'm willing to negotiate. Just, give me a number. People were excited to see it, like kids and stuff, but nobody was going to bite on that. And I didn't really expect it to, but I brought it just in case. I had tons of 151. I've ripped a lot of 151. I brought all of that. I probably should have brought more. I know I didn't bring any of my Paldean Faith stuff, singles cards. I just didn't think about it. When you're taking this opportunity to be in front of people, try to get everything that you can in singles cards and get them into a binder, get them in front of the people. I would definitely advise knowing the prices up front. You don't want to sit there and waste your time. I didn't feel like this show was that crowded that I could have had time to look stuff up, but if you start getting a crowd at your table, you just want to be prepared. You don't want to sit there and look stuff up nonstop. And on the note of singles, a lot of people were looking for vintage stuff, and a lot of people were really only interested in 151. The first 151 Pokemon. It didn't matter what set, but people were definitely interested in 151 and completing that set. I spent, if I was there 6 hours, I spent at least 4 of them, if not more, talking to people and with having people at my table as I tried to edit down the video to something more, consumable as a viewer. There's just so many hours still of me interacting with people or people being at the table and just looking through the binders and talking Pokemon. Another piece of advice that I took down in my notes was that I was alone. I could not leave the table. I was very nervous about that. It impacted my sleep the night before. I knew that it impacted what I could eat and drink during the day because, again, I couldn't leave the table because people could have stolen from me, and it impacted my health while being there and my enjoyment of being there. So I think my advice would be to do this with a partner, either somebody with you or another vendor, and set up next to them. Make a connection. Go to a show as a buyer and start chatting up other people, see who's in the area, see if they want to do a show in the future where you buy tables and you're next to each other, and that way you can look over their stuff and they can look over yours so that you can use the restroom, you can get a drink, you can walk around, look at the other stuff that other people. There was only one opportunity where the crowd really died down and I could see my table anywhere, so I took a minute and I tried to walk over to some other vendors and check out what they had, but I felt like I couldn't leave my table very long. And if you do this with somebody else, if you bring someone, I had a plan where my wife and kids were going to come probably around 1 o'clock with this thing shutting down at 3 p.m. and just to give me a break. But as it got closer, I just didn't want to burden them to drive the half hour there, half hour back. So I was just like, don't worry about it. I can tough it out for the next 2 hours. But it definitely it made the experience much more difficult. I wouldn't say it was ruined because I still had a blast and I would definitely still do it again. But I think I would prepare different. Like I said, I'd bring different stuff, smaller stuff that, I can bring in and out easier, so I'm not just dying of doing the work, because whatever you bring, if it's a good price, I think you can push it. So I'm thinking next time maybe I bring like 4 boxes of different sleeve booster packs, maybe just a couple ETBs, and maybe a box of 3-pack blisters, not as much as I brought, whatever kinds that I have. And focus on singles, binders of singles, slabs if you got them. Those are the things I think people are more interested in looking at. Another great thing about setting up as a vendor is people bring you cards that they want to sell. And I think that it's more than fair to not pay more than 80% market because you're a vendor and you're expected to try to make a markup. I did make a few purchases, but only for my own personal collection. And I was being a nice guy. I paid market price, in my opinion, for both of those purchases. I picked up the Iono from Paul Day Evolve, the Special Illustration Rare, because I needed it for my master set, and Koraidon from Scarlet and Violet 1. Again, another card I needed for my master set binder. I also picked up some Japanese cards from the latest set, Stellar Miracle. Again, because I wanted to get all the IRs, so I got the rest of the IRs that I needed, and I got the Hydra Apple Special Illustration Rare because I just love that card, and I paid market. I forgot what that was at the time. I didn't write it down, but I paid a very fair, good price for that card as well. Basically, whatever was on eBay, buy it now, sorted on the lowest price. Now, I would have to buy them at those prices from someone in Japan and wait for them to ship. It can take like a month sometimes, but that's what the price was. So to me, that was fair market value that I offered, around $2 each for the IRs. I want to say it was like $20 for the Hydra Apple, but I'm not exactly sure. It was something like that, but I thought it was a very fair deal. On the front of recording everything live, it was great to be able to chat with people online that were watching and enjoy watching vendor point of view videos. It gave me something to do and people to talk with and interact with in between customers. And having it recorded was great because I was able to go back and watch some of the funny moments and really enjoy that. One of those moments was which I started this video with, and the girls overheard that I have a YouTube channel and they got very excited. It was super cute, and there was lots of great interactions with customers and kids who are just enjoying Pokemon, and that's fantastic to see. All right, let's get down to the brass tacks. In sealed product, I sold $237 worth of sealed product. My cost for those $237 was $192.88. I did the math this week. My profit was $40 from those sales, essentially, which is a 32% return, which is great. However, I need to pay sales tax at a rate of 4.75%. That's about $11.25. That brings my profit on sealed product down to $28.75, which leaves me with only about a 15% return on investment. And in order to do that, I had to buy the table for the day, and that was $75. I'm not even factoring that in yet. So far, we're at a huge loss. Now, when I take a credit card, there's a fee for that. However, I only took credit card 3 times, and I already factored that into those numbers. So credit card fee wise, I only paid about $2.50 for those 3 credit card transactions. And those fees I think are actually pretty reasonable, and that was with Zettle and PayPal, which is my point of sale system. Also remember, it cost me 7 hours of my day. And then on top of that, time spent planning, filling up the singles binders, getting all the prices. That's time I could have spent at home working on videos, researching, relaxing, hanging with the family. So you have to factor that in, and you got to decide how much your time is worth and how fun that you actually find it. I could have spent time focusing on marketing for my online shop. I think selling online is way better because online sales can happen at any time, 24/7. I can fulfill the orders in my spare time between other activities. And like I said, didn't eat up all that day, and all the hours I spent planning would have been probably better. Had I not put together the singles binders, it would have been a complete disaster and really not worth the time. Also, remember I spent the $130 on that cart. Now, it's a business expense, and I can use it for other things if I do this in the future. Even if I went and sold singles or slabs, I might have, 3 or 4 of those cases that I would want to wheel around. So the cart will have uses in the future, but it's another expense I had to pay in order to get into this. Singles saved a day. Like I said, if I didn't put those binders together, I would have been in big trouble. I ended up selling about $150 worth of singles. I gave away a bunch of singles, V's, V Maxes that, mostly the kids, or sometimes I threw them in if people bought some other stuff. And I just said, oh, don't worry about those cards. So, um, they're they're just cards sitting around my shelves. It's not worth it to try to sell them on eBay. They're the kinds of things that you got to take to sell in shows, or you're going to sell them to someone who's willing to take the time or has a thing at a huge, you know, at 4 cents a card. Maybe you can sell your V's for to somebody who's going to go and try to flip them for $1 somewhere else, or 20 cents, whatever they pay. But moving them in person is definitely the way to go. At one point, I traded with a kid. I would have just given him the cards probably, but he came and wanted to do a trade. He found 3 cards that he wanted, and so I looked through his binders. I checked with him to make sure that these cards weren't cards that he really wanted to keep, part of his collection. He said there was a few in there, so I avoided those. And just to give him the experience of doing a trade, because that's what this is all about. I ended up picking like a Belly Bolt full art and did the trade with him. So hopefully he enjoyed having that experience of the trades. I thought it was fun, and it ended up being a card I needed for my Paul de Evolve binder anyway. So now I have that experience that I'll remember from this, and the card in my binder to go along with it. Like I said, I also spent money on singles. Diono and Koraidon sent me back $75, and then I spent another $37 on the Japanese cards that I wanted from the latest set. So in the end, I lost money. But what did I get? I gained experience, I gained knowledge, I had fun, I got potential future customers because I was telling them about my site. Some people took pictures of my QR codes in order to go online and place orders later. People brought me singles that they wanted to sell, so I got to look through those, and I could have gotten some great prices on some of them if I really wanted to go hardcore into that kind of a thing. So overall, it's definitely something I would do again. I'd do it again. I would do it a little bit differently, and I would want to have a partner because I think that would make a huge difference and make it a lot more fun. What do you guys think? Do you have any questions for me? Let me know. I hope you guys are having a great weekend, and I'll catch you in the next video.